Icons have been the heart of Disney parks since Disneyland first opened its gates in 1955. They've only become increasingly larger, more complex, and more breathtaking ever since. Park icons are, well, it's in the word, iconic. Cinderella Castle at Magic Kingdom Park has been said to be among the more photographed landmarks in the world. Whether or not that's entirely true, it's definitely among the world's more recognizable buildings for good reason. But park icons are more than a nice-looking centerpiece. They define parks and are a snapshot of their greater theme. Icons set the tone and establish a world of fantasy. Beyond that, their careful designs are essential to a park's layout and can even be a venue for an attraction. Let's explore what makes them so great. This is the art of Disney park icons. The icons of Disney parks, while unique for the most part, are alike enough to be grouped into 4 categories. That way, we can fully appreciate each icon and understand what makes them special. The categories will be castles, hidden attractions, fabricated wonders, and iconic by default. The first category is a display of Disney at its finest. Castles are classic park icons that capture the magic of Disney. For Disney, it all started with a mouse. For the parks, it all started with Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland. When planning his flagship theme park, Walt Disney insisted it needed a prominent castle. Thematically, Sleeping Beauty Castle establishes the fantasy of Disneyland. Functionally, the castle is the central point of the park's hub-and-spoke layout. It all connects back to the hub and Sleeping Beauty Castle. Sleeping Beauty Castle is more than a quaint backdrop for Main Street, USA. Just beyond the serene moat and welcoming drawbridge, guests are transported to Fantasyland, which is key to the Disneyland experience. Sleeping Beauty Castle has an inviting, not imposing presence, standing at a modest 77 feet tall. Despite being small in stature, the castle plays a big role in Disneyland's fairy tale environment. Sleeping Beauty Castle was not always going to be Sleeping Beauties. Other concepts were considered, such as Snow White. Sleeping Beauty Castle, along with Disneyland, actually opened 4 years before Sleeping Beauty the film was released in 1959. As to why, it simply came down to marketing. Synergy has been Disney's method for decades. Above the castle walls, which are inspired by Bavaria's Neuschwanstein Castle, Sleeping Beauty Castle is one of Disney's many buildings that uses forced perspective. The elements toward the top are scaled down to simulate distance and create the illusion of height. Staying atop, the blue roof was Walt's idea, as he thought the castle would appear taller if parts blended with the sky. Blue roofs have been a signature on Disney's castles ever since. The castle's upper interior originally was empty, but Disney transformed the space into a walkthrough experience in 1957 with Shirley Temple at the grand opening. The walkthrough showcases storybook dioramas that tell the tale of Sleeping Beauty. Though revised over the years, guests can still enjoy it today as they did in Disneyland's early days. Sleeping Beauty Castle captures the cozy environment of Disneyland, retaining Walt's creative touches and the innocence of Disney. Sleeping Beauty Castle has extended beyond Disneyland in the company's branding. It's a symbol of the happiest place on earth, a reminder of Walt's dream, and a high standard for Disney parks going forward. Everything about the development of Walt Disney World in Orlando was bigger than Disneyland. A bigger plot of land, bigger resorts, and a bigger castle. Cinderella Castle at Magic Kingdom is the next evolution of the original Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland. Magic Kingdom's castle is more than 100 feet taller than Disneyland's, reaching 189 feet in the sky. The structure is famously just shy of the minimum height that would require an obstruction light for air traffic. A blinking light on top of a regal castle would not be as magical. The castle can be seen not just from around the park, but also outside the gates as guests approach Magic Kingdom on ferries across the Seven Seas Lagoon. It's a fantastic sight as guests leave the real world and enter the Magic Kingdom. The castle walls and spires sprawl around the park's hub and into Fantasyland as a cornerstone that pulls all of Magic Kingdom together. Cinderella Castle was constructed in 18 months with steel framing and plaster that could withstand up to 110 mph winds. That's crucial in Florida's climate. The castle was planned to have an apartment upstairs specifically for Walt Disney himself. However, the living space was never built because Walt passed away 5 years before Magic Kingdom opened. The upstairs space was used for cast members until being transformed into something more magical in the 2000s. Cinderella Castle has no shortage of embellishments, like the gorgeously detailed mosaic murals in the main breezeway. What most guests will never see, however, is the highly exclusive Cinderella suite upstairs in the spot originally bookmarked for Walt's apartment. The suite has many enchanted details, but here's an interesting one to point out. The grandfather clock is permanently stuck at 11:59 p.m. just before midnight, so the magic never wears off. Cinderella Castle is also home to the Cinderella's Royal Table dining experience and Bippity Boppity Boutique, where young ones can get the royal treatment. At night, Cinderella Castle is the canvas for Magic Kingdom's nighttime show with fireworks, projections, music, and an appearance through the sky by Tinkerbell. The castle's architecture defines the mood of Magic Kingdom and has also become a defining symbol of the Walt Disney Company. It's a testament to the grandeur of Disney parks. Tokyo Disneyland, which opened in 1983, has a Cinderella Castle that's nearly identical to Florida's. It has a walk-through attraction, Cinderella's Fairy Tale Hall, which replaced the terrifying Cinderella Castle Mystery Tour. Disney stepped up its castle game for Disneyland Paris in 1992. Say what you want about the park's early failures, but Sleeping Beauty Castle is a masterpiece. Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland Paris is probably the most artful Disney castle. Its elegant design radiates that charming fairy tale aesthetic Disney has mastered. The castle is elevated over the sloped countryside, stylized with cubic trees, geometric rocks, a shimmering waterfall, and bright green grass as if it were hand-painted. The scene doesn't look like real life, it's straight out of the gentle backgrounds from the 1959 Sleeping Beauty film. A long curved bridge meanders to the castle's luxurious interior and transports to Fantasyland. Euro Disneyland was a new sandbox for Imagineers. They put a lot of effort into the park icon, especially for Disney's European debut. It had to be absolutely perfect. Disney considered some unexpected ideas, such as a retro-futuristic tower in the style of Discoveryland. Of course, Disney ultimately built a European-inspired work of art. Every feature was created with intention, such as lighter shades of blue paint toward the top for some forced perspective. Disney also strategically positioned the castle north so the sun wouldn't backlight the icon in photos. As breathtaking as Sleeping Beauty Castle is from the outside, it's just as impressive inside. The castle is fully stocked with shopping options and 2 walkthrough experiences. Upstairs is a gallery brimming with graceful design and craftsmanship that tell the story of Sleeping Beauty through stained glass and tapestries. The upstairs area also has access to a balcony that overlooks the theme park. The basement shows its teeth with La Thénère du Dragon, a darker walkthrough attraction that opened with Disney's largest audio animatronic at the time. Sleeping Beauty Castle in Paris is still among Disney's most scenic creations. Believe it or not, Disneyland Paris's castle is the most visited castle in all of Europe. Its hints of European inspiration mixed with Disney's detailed storytelling make Sleeping Beauty Castle a special park icon. Disney's newest ground-up castle is spectacular in its own way. Most Disney Castle Park entrances follow a similar format to Main Street USA, which leads to a typical hub plaza. Shanghai Disneyland greets guests with an early 20th century entrance area called Mickey Avenue in dedication of classic Disney characters. Mickey Avenue leads to Gardens of Imagination, which is more than just a hub, it's a full land with attractions, waterways, and flower beds. Towering above Gardens of Imagination is the park's spectacular icon, Enchanted Storybook Castle. The castle has a sophisticated pastel rose color and luxurious accents surrounded by intricate pathways, rockwork, waterfalls, and a viewing area for shows. A trip through the castle leads to Fantasyland's peaceful waterfront. Enchanted Storybook Castle stands as Disney's highest-reaching castle, hitting 197 feet. In addition to being tall, Enchanted Storybook Castle is Disney's most complex one yet, thanks to the benefit of new age technologies during development and the magic of Imagineering. The castle was cleverly designed with infrastructure for a host of attraction spaces, nighttime show units, and other uses. It's a masterfully functional structure that is a passage for Disney magic. The centerpiece of Shanghai Disneyland was the first Disney castle to celebrate every Disney princess. Its design unifies Chinese cultural influences and Disney's premier stories, both classic and new. Inside, Enchanted Storybook Castle has retail options, dining locations, meet and greet opportunities, elegant murals, and an overall classy atmosphere. Like other Disney castles, Enchanted Storybook Castle has a walkthrough experience called Once Upon a Time Adventure with glamorous effects and storytelling based on Snow White. Beneath the castle, the voyage to the Crystal Grotto boat ride passes through tunnels below. Enchanted Storybook Castle truly makes the most of its space. Enchanted Storybook Castle is a brilliant display of what modern Disney can accomplish when relying on its tradition of thoughtful architecture and storytelling. Hong Kong Disneyland opened in 2005 with a recreation of Sleeping Beauty Castle, just like the original Disney icon from 50 years earlier. However, Disney said goodnight to Hong Kong's Sleeping Beauty Castle in 2018 and dreamed up a magical overhaul. In 2020, the Castle of Magical Dreams opened as Hong Kong Disneyland's reimagined icon. The castle unifies the stories of 13 Disney princesses. Its towers include various symbols, colors, and unique architectural elements that represent princesses such as Ariel, Elsa, and Moana, among many others. Small touches like Merita's bow, Snow White's apple, and Mushu from Mulan, for example, pay tribute to these stories. The base of the castle has a classic regal design, surrounded by a medieval forest and viewing areas. The Castle of Magical Dreams is now 167 feet tall, which is more than twice as high as the park's original castle. It reaches new structural and story-driven heights. Hong Kong Disneyland's castle represents a wide group of Disney princesses, so it has a range of global architectural influences, including European, Chinese, Middle Eastern, Polynesian, and Native American connections. The castle harmoniously balances an assortment of designs and qualities of feng shui. The Castle of Magical Dreams has countless captivating details to appreciate, but it has a few offerings in its compact interior. Young guests can get a makeover at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and meet some characters at the castle. The breezeway of the icon leads to a covered area with columns featuring etched symbols from the castle's princesses. The Castle of Magical Dreams was a step forward for Disney icons. Its diverse theme represents more than just Disney princesses. It represents the hope of their stories that have resonated with generations. The Castle of Magical Dreams is engaging, inspiring, and iconic. The icons in the hidden attractions category double as rides or shows, but you would never know it just by looking at them. This category starts strong with the prettiest girl in school, Spaceship Earth at EPCOT. The 180-foot-tall geodesic sphere greets guests at the park's entrance, standing as an introductory point to a world of innovation and culture. The landmark complements the surrounding areas with Walt Disney World's monorail wrapped around it. Spaceship Earth is an anchor for EPCOT's mission as it's seen from around the park. Spaceship Earth is probably Disney's most impressive icon from an engineering standpoint. Disney took inspiration from the geodesic dome at Expo 67 in Montreal, creating an elaborate sphere within a sphere design. The large structure's elevated position added extra complications as the crew had to perform wind tunnel tests, ensuring safety for pedestrians. One of the geodesic sphere's many functional features is its built-in system for collecting rainwater, which flows into the park's lagoon. Spaceship Earth is the world's largest freestanding geodesic sphere, weighing in at nearly 16 million pounds. The 165-foot wide sphere is covered in more than 11,000 triangular tiles, giving it that golf ball look. The reason Spaceship Earth is so impressive in size and design is that it's the venue for a classic Disney dark ride. Typically, Disney builds their dark rides in some type of themed show building, but this ride is elevated and enclosed inside the geodesic sphere. The helix-like track layout of Spaceship Earth spirals up the sphere with a gradual descent back at the end. On the creative side, Disney consulted with famed author Ray Bradbury to outline the attraction's storyline. Spaceship Earth takes an encouraging journey through the advancements in human communication and connections. Spaceship Earth being toward the front of the park means it's the first and final sight guests see when visiting EPCOT. It's a symbol of EPCOT itself and also the harmonious future it represents. That feeling is punctuated at night with the shimmering light package called Beacons of Magic, which debuted in 2021. It's illuminated with various shows and effects, giving guests one final spark of inspiration at the end of the night as they pass by Spaceship Earth toward the exit. The next few park icons fit into the hidden attractions category, but they are also prime examples of fabricated wonders. These icons combine works of art with natural aesthetics for believable, adventurous, and calm settings. Tokyo DisneySea is generally considered the gold standard for Disney parks, and its icon definitely meets that standard. Tokyo DisneySea flows around its icon, Mount Prometheus. The man-made volcano anchors the park's coastal-themed areas, known as ports of call. No matter where you stand in the park, the 189-foot-tall Mount Prometheus blends into the background. From different angles, the active volcano may be more graceful with pleasing rock formations and foliage, as seen from Port Discovery. In ports of call like Mysterious Island, Mount Prometheus is more intense and volcanic, as if it could erupt at any moment. It magnifies the adventurous spirit of Mysterious Island, which is heavily inspired by the retro-futuristic works of Jules Verne. The port of call is crawling with gorgeous craftwork, inventions, submarines, and points of discovery wrapped around and through Mount Prometheus. As eye-catching as Mount Prometheus is, the icon is technologically impressive as well. Its 750,000 square feet of sculpted rockwork hold the most dazzling effect in a Disney icon: fire. Mount Prometheus has 10 3,000-pound rocket boosters in its crater, which erupt flames up to 50 feet in the air. The volcano bursts throughout the day and as part of DisneySea's nighttime spectaculars. It's a glorious icon on the outside, with more surprises for those who venture inside. Mount Prometheus is an attraction in and of itself, but it also contains not one, but two major rides: 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. These attractions further the Jules Verne world. The wonder of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and especially the compelling thrills of Journey to the Center of the Earth, are among the best DisneySea has to offer. Mount Prometheus rewards exploration with its rides, mystique, and design. Mount Prometheus clearly isn't the typical Disney icon. At one level, it's a staggering creation that represents Disney's most cohesively creative theme park. Beyond the surface, Mount Prometheus is an engineering accomplishment that contains some of Disney's finest attractions. It would take a special icon to stand up to the quality of Tokyo DisneySea, and Mount Prometheus does so with excellence. One park icon is rooted in the spectacle of nature and the magic of Disney: Animal Kingdom's Tree of Life. Disney's Animal Kingdom simultaneously looks like a creation by nature and a construction by Imagineers. The park and its icon are organic and, in contrast, well thought out. That's a compliment to the handiwork of the great outdoors and Disney's innovation. The Tree of Life combines Animal Kingdom's respect for nature with a brilliantly lush design made by Imagineers. From far away, it has intrigue and significance, but close up, it's a work of art with carvings and intricacies around every bend. The Tree of Life is covered in more than 300 wildlife carvings that appear to be naturally growing from the wood. It unifies our world's diverse animal kingdom of land, water, and air, including creatures from ants to zebras, A to Z. The decorative roots sprawl throughout the Discovery Island area, intertwining the tree in the park's hub. At 145 feet tall, the Tree of Life has nearly 8,000 end branches as the canopy extends 165 feet wide. The tree holds more than 100,000 leaves that stay put during Florida's heavy storms, thanks to the wind tunnel studies during development. The tree can withstand 100-mile-per-hour winds. The Tree of Life was constructed using a scaled oil rig, designed specifically for the project. This framework allowed for a sturdy natural figure while having enough space for an attraction inside. The Tree of Life is one of Disney's more expansive icons, with roots weaving far beyond its trunk. This environment paves exploration areas like the Discovery Island trails, which wander by calm animal exhibits through the Tree of Life garden. The tree's gorgeous root system ushers guests through a queue that leads to the Tree of Life Theater. Inside the base of the Tree of Life is a 400-plus seat venue presenting It's Tough to Be a Bug, a 4D show with animatronics, scents, interactive seats, and more. This opening day attraction will be replaced with Zootopia Better Together, which will take over the Tree of Life Theater. The Tree of Life accomplishes what the best Disney icons do. It makes a statement. Animal Kingdom's icon is bold yet serene. It's a monumental work of art that makes guests want to discover more under its shady branches and beyond. That level of curiosity is what Animal Kingdom is all about, appreciating a world beyond our own. Some of Disney's theme parks are tightly tethered to their icons. Try imagining EPCOT without Spaceship Earth. However, for other parks, the icons might seem like an afterthought. They randomly choose the tallest ride in the park as an icon simply because it's the best option. That leads us to the final category, iconic by default. Even though Disney California Adventure is only a few steps from the park that Walt built, Anaheim's second gate is far from a typical Disney park. Disney's other theme parks emphasize worlds of fiction and fantasy. When it opened, California Adventure was basically a Cliff Notes version of the Golden State. California Adventure's early logo and marketing showed off its icon at the time, Grizzly Peak. This 110-foot tall mountain was inspired by California's state animal and scenic national parks. Grizzly Peak has much more to appreciate and could fit into the Fabricated Wonders category, but alas, it's no longer the park's icon. Disney has diluted California Adventure's identity over the years as a multi-billion-dollar effort to correct the park's early shortcomings. Despite its name, California Adventure lost its heavy California theme, so the California-esque Grizzly Peak is no longer an accurate signifier of the park. Grizzly Peak still exists, but it is out of the spotlight and often shrouded by overgrown plants. By default, due to rapid change and a lack of options, the park's icon in recent years has been the Pixar Pal-Around Ferris wheel, as used in Disney's promotional material. Pixar Pal-Around is in a picturesque location by the water and is among the tallest attractions in the park at 160 feet. This Ferris wheel originally opened as the Sun Wheel, but now features a large Mickey Mouse face. It's not ideal or revolutionary, it's iconic by default. Grizzly Peak is more unique to the park and is closer in quality to Disney's other icons. It is California Adventure's most intentional visual anchor, but Disney has made it more relevant as the park evolves. When Disney MGM Studios first opened, the park's icon was the Earful Tower, a fake water tower with a pair of Mickey ears. It fit the park's studio backlot theme, but it was removed in 2016 to make room for Toy Story Land. Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris has its own version of the Earful Tower. That park is being transformed into Disney Adventure World with a refreshed entrance. By the looks of the concept art, the Earful Tower seems to be safe in Paris. The park formerly known as Disney MGM Studios has had a few iconic landmarks, for better or for worse. The park's Chinese theater facade has arguably been its most recognizable landmark, being located in a typical spot for an icon at the end of the Main Street style entrance. However, even that iconic facade was covered up at one point. To honor the 100th anniversary of Walt's birth, Walt Disney World Resort held the 100 Years of Magic celebration in 2001. For this, Disney introduced the Sorcerer's Hat, which was plopped right in front of the Great Movie Ride, and the legendary Chinese theater recreation. The 122-foot tall structure was inspired by Mickey's role in Fantasia and lasted until 2015. Since the removal of the Earful Tower and the Sorcerer's Hat, the icon of Disney's Hollywood Studios has defaulted to the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. As the tallest attraction at Hollywood Studios, Tower of Terror has stumbled into being an icon. Truthfully, Tower of Terror is an attraction first and an icon second, so it doesn't quite fit the hidden attractions category from earlier. However, it is still incredibly well designed. Tower of Terror lives up to its name by being the tallest Disney icon at a towering 199 feet tall. The Hollywood Tower Hotel creeps over the glitz and glitter of Sunset Boulevard with a twisted golden age look. The building's backside was famously designed to blend into the skyline of the Morocco Pavilion, where it can be seen all the way at EPCOT. Tower of Terror may be Hollywood Studios' backup icon, but it's a star in its own right, for now. Once the Muppets take the place of Aerosmith, the Twilight Zone will be the only non-Disney property at the Walt Disney World Resort. So who's to say what Hollywood Studios' icon will look like in the future? From storybook castles to a geodesic sphere, Disney's icons are a snapshot of the wonder experienced at theme parks and the lasting memories formed there. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts down in the comments. What's your favorite Disney icon? And special thanks to the Storybook Amusement patrons. Shout out to the producer credits Parallel Discover and Nikki. Dive deeper into Storybook Amusement on social media, Patreon, storybookamusement.com, and with merch. Find all the links in the description. And check out these other videos while you're here. Thanks everyone for watching.